Hello, what's your name?
My name is Melby.
Nice to meet you, Melpy. My name is Artemis. And talk to me a little bit about your business.
I'm an acupuncturist here in New York City,
Nice.
and I also have a technical computer science background, so I've developed an app for acupuncturists.
So, what is the app about?
We basically, by law, we're required to take notes to give acupuncturists, no, to give our patients notes on their visits to us if they want. And most acupuncturists, we either scribble or whatever. So I'm trying to make it easy for the acupuncturist to take notes, but also for other acupuncturists to be able to use those notes for their own. If they have a patient that they don't know what to do with, they can go back and check other acupuncturists' notes and see what they did for similar situations.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Did you used to have? Did you have any other background on being an entrepreneur?
Yes, I before this I had my own computer consulting firm where I would program, like I'd hire myself into other companies to program stuff for them. And then after that, I went totally in a different direction, and I had my own desserts company with a friend of mine.
Nice. Okay, so for this business you have started, when did you start it?
I started 2 years ago developing the app, and with any business there's little hiccups, and so I'm still trying to find a final graphic designer to design it, and then a programmer to actually do the programming. So I've done some of the programming, like I have a website piece and that's kind of done, but the actual app
It's not ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, really nice. And could you tell me who do you think your target customers are?
So like I said, it's for acupuncturists. Normally we take notes while we're before the treatment. We take information in about like what's going on for the patient, what do they want treated, and then based on things that we take their pulse, we look at their tongue, and based on all this information we gather, it's kind of like a normal doctor. We can say, okay, hearing all this information or seeing this information, we want to, we think this is what we should treat you with. So it's to help acupuncturists figure out, make their job easier of taking the notes of the intake. That's when you're pulling in all the information from the patient, and the diagnosis.
Really nice. Okay, so it's acupuncturists, and like what kind of demographics would they have? Would they have like be a specific age or whatever age?
It kind of would probably appeal most to people who are tech savvy. I want to keep it so that the general acupuncturist is very down to earth. They want to keep the patient, feeling like it's a very easy, not a techno where you're ticking, while you're taking their pulses. So I want to keep it kind of smooth and organic for somebody who likes to talk to their patients and not make it look like they're on the computer while they're talking to their patient. So it could appeal to anybody, but I'm kind of targeting people who probably feel very comfortable with computers. So like age mid-20, could be 50s, 60s, but my core target audience is like I'm going to try and get it into schools, so that students use it right away and they get used to using it, so they want to use it when they get out of school also.
So while they are studying that, how to become an acupuncturist?
Right, so they're like when they go into clinic and they're starting to treat patients, they'll get used to using this app right off the bat, so that they won't want to use anything else when they get out. That's kind of the idea.
Okay, pretty nice. And also, what else? what are the customers' unmet needs that you serve? Is it like they don't have a way to keep the notes?
Well, you know,
Or-
it's just like anything else. You could potentially just write your notes, and a lot of people do, right? But the thing I was saying about being able to present it to your patients, like usually we have chicken scratch when we're
Mhm.
taking notes, or there's certain notes you don't want your patients to see because they're your inside thoughts. Maybe you don't want the patient to see everything. But it's, like I said, so it's to be able to give the patients the notes in a very readable form. But the other thing that would appeal to acupuncturists is to be able to share your notes. Like I see on Facebook, a lot of acupuncturists are saying, you know, I treated my patient with this, this, and this, and I can't seem to cure them. Anybody have any ideas? So ultimately, I'd like it to be kind of a social networking site, the website part, where acupuncturists can see other people's treatment without seeing the patient's name, and or like kind of chat with each other, saying I've tried everything, you know, any ideas, things
So
like
it's
that.
basically a platform for acupuncturists to communicate each other and advise, like get advice.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty nice. Where do you find your customers, like, to get feedback or to approach them?
So
How do you find your customers?
So initially, I talked to different people that I went to school with and got their feedback. Ultimately, there's a national organization, so I want to talk to them to see if it's even legal, but I, you know, try to find out all the schools that are, what's it called, not registered, but,
Are going to accept your app?
yeah, I mean, that are legally acceptable, accredited, that's the
Mm.
word. Accredited schools that are under their umbrella that, you know, they know about, so I can contact all those schools and talk to the administrators of those schools about getting my app into
So
those
that's where you find your customers.
Mhm.
That's cool. Okay. And so the media that your customers use are basically your app, right?
Yes. And
So-
also, I'm gonna have a website part where the patients can go and see what treatments were done on them. Also pull their records if they want. They'll also put their Western history. You know, like when you go in a doctor, they say, did you
Your
ever
history.
break your arm? Do you
Mhm.
have, you know, have you ever had pneumonia? All those things. So I'm gonna have that on the website. So the Western medicine and the Eastern, and also ultimately have acupuncturists be able to talk to each other on the website.
Okay, really nice. So how do you actively solicit feedback from customers? Do you always search for feedback, or it's only specific times that you need feedback?
So I'm still I haven't developed the app. I mean, it's in a form that's like on paper that they can see the design. So I've kind of got, just like talking to my fellow acupuncturists from my school, the feedback I got is, would you even use this tool? You know, what parts do you like, do you not like, what would you also like to see, things like that. So I've got like a small handful of people, but the more it's developed, then I'll actually give it to acupuncturists and say, is this a useful tool for you?
Okay, nice. And what so what do you think your 20% of customer is, based on uh, the customers that give you the most percent of your sales?
I think the easiest or the biggest bang for the buck would be the schools, because in these situations sometimes you have to give your software for free just so that they can try it with their students and get it incorporated. But then those students, like I said, there's something called stickiness, so it means that they'll stick to it. Like they'll get so used to, kind of like Facebook.
Mhm.
You know, people don't think of using anything else. It's the go-to place
Yeah.
because it's sticky. Like everybody's used to using it now, right? So to try a whole different, I know there's Snapchat and all those other
Mhm.
things, but people are still sticking to Facebook. So I kind of want to make it a sticky product that people will start in school, get used to it, and will want to continue after school.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sure.